So I've got that bottom panel fairly close now. I'm just cutting this doorway at the bottom, pushing one, pushing the other. Oh, actually there's four this side, beg your pardon. Here I am with another use for the plumb bob. So I've just put some FixTech 15 onto the surfaces. I've made a start here this morning with this next part. So I've had it in place once and I've marked the holes that are going to bolt to the framing. So they're in place. The other thing I've done is just marked here the height of that hull floor, which lets me know how much distance I would have below the doorway once that doorway is cut out. So I do need to put it back in place again in order to mark that doorway. I'll do that now, get a bit of that on film. Just looking at this piece that was put in yesterday, it's come up good. It's nice and flush with the adjoining piece. The glue's holding excellently. And that little complex joint there, this other piece slots up there nicely. And just to make mention, I've got the ladder set up on the other side there because, for obvious reasons, once I put this piece in, I'm not going to be able to get onto that other side. So I have to go out over the top of the boat and down this ladder. So the filming will be tricky from that side. I'll probably only be able to film from this side. I'll get the laser level and just shoot this doorway line that I already have on this top bulkhead down onto the other piece so that I can mark that, and then I'm going to cut that from the bottom so that I can glue that whole piece and bolt that in place. As I've done here, I'll be able to get the jigsaw in from the bottom and cut up with that in place. So I've got that bottom panel fairly close now. I would say I'm 95% happy with the position. Certainly left to right or port to starboard or athwartships in relation to the other panel above. So I can get that laser level in action now. I've got the tripod for the laser level. Well, it's not particularly for this one, however I'm using it for this laser level. So what I do, just for your info, is, as you can see, that's got a leveling bubble on the actual tripod, so I'm trying to do this one-handed, bear with me. Roughly enough, because the level itself is a self-leveling laser level, so that's close enough. Now I can put my laser level on top of the tripod. So now I'll just turn it on. Let's see. Bit hard to see. I need to kill the light. Yeah, it's even hard to see on the camera. I can see it with my naked eye. That's the horizontal line. So there's that small jigsaw cut on the top panel, and it's obscuring the pencil line because that's exactly right on that pencil line, which is good. So now what I'll do is I will just transfer that line onto this lower panel, which is where that door is going to be cut out, and then I will cut from the bottom here up past the hull floor so that when I fit this panel in place shortly, I won't have to have any problems cutting out that doorway, because the line will be marked, the bottom will have a cut in it past the hull floor. I'll just be able to insert the jigsaw and continue that cut all the way through. I'm happy with that idea. The laser level is very, very handy. Love it. So as I explained, I'm just cutting this doorway at the bottom so that now I can glue this in place and I'll be able to insert the jigsaw blade above the hull floor where this joins. This is the bottom, and continue that cut on. I don't want to remove it now because that would give me two parts and then they might not line up correctly. So doing it this way means that I get everything lined up correctly on that top edge, which is the one that will be seen as well as this side one. And by cutting that with the jigsaw, it means I can insert the jigsaw now once this is installed and just continue that on, leaving this in one piece whilst it is glued in place. Now to the other side. Far out. What a mission. Oh, racing against the clock with that epoxy being pushed to its limits as far as setting time, gelling up. I have 3 full-length props here with all the contraptions and all sorts, including a book, the drill box, chocks, golly, those full-length props. There's 3 on this side and I think 3 on the other. We'll go there and have a look in a moment. It's either 2 or 3, but my goodness, going from one side to the next, pushing one, pushing the other. Oh, actually there's 4 this side, beg your pardon. There's another one in the centre there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, so that there's no step anywhere. And I mean, I don't know why it was so requiring so much pushing, but I guess there's nothing in the middle to hold it, and that's why. Let's go now and have a look at the other side. The other thing to say is it's a booby trap trying to go down there. Just have to absolutely watch where you're stepping, because any one of these could just trip and fall down. Oh my word, that was testy. I may have let loose with more than a book of profanities. So as mentioned before, too tricky to film here. As you can see, I have a ladder set up to get down, and it's 2 props this side, so 2 props and actually a wedge. There's a wedge in there. It is holding it fair, and now we just need time to do its thing and get up in the morning and be able to take all those props off. You ripper! These absolutely beautiful jasmine trees just smell so good. The bees think so too, of course. It's just a cloud of beautiful jasmine smell. I'm surrounded by them, it's just wonderful. No wonder the birds love it here too. Perfume. So here's my last little bit of timber framework to finish off that V-berth, that little strip there, and so that lines up nicely with those marks. So once that FixTech hardens, which will be, I'll leave it for overnight, I can then finally screw and FixTech down all the base, and that finishes that. So here I am with another use for the plumb bob. I'm just trying to get the door height and size all sorted out, because this door is going to open inside of the V-berth, and so because of the shape it's going to follow this beam, so it'll be a slight taper going up to this point. So when this door opens, because this part of the foredeck tapers down, I need to make sure this door can open and not be obstructed. At least to be able to be opened 90 degrees, that's sufficient. So yes, I'm just going to use the plumb bob to see where this point, which is a point that I've already worked out where this door top is going to hit. I want to see where that falls. So I've just put some FixTech 15 onto the surfaces where this end of the bed base is sitting. So around the edges, on those little bearers, on the little bearer that I made here and installed yesterday, and on the main beams going through the centre. Now what I'll do is use these galvanised, and again hot dipped galvanised wood screws, just to hold that down in place while that FixTech goes off, and that will not be going anywhere. That is solid. Now to screw it down. So having finally finished the V-berth bunk and also the main bulkhead between it and the saloon area. So now that that bulkhead is all done, it's on to the next, which will be this heads area and including shower basin, etc. with the gear.